There we go.
Hi. First of all, wait, can they? Ooh, he said you so sexy, girl. Y'all don't even start it today. Come on now. Y'all know who we are. This is your girl, our Hannah Robinson and Nicole Zenobia Graham with Beyond the Barbell. We want to say thank y'all again for tuning into another episode. You guys, y'all know we cannot do this without y'all support. So we truly, truly are grateful and appreciate everything that y'all do. When it comes to the likes, the shares, all of it, the more y'all support us, the more that we support y'all. So thank y'all so much for all of it.
Thank you. Thank you. And before I even get started saying anything, I want to make sure that we are clear. Can you guys hear us just fine today? How's it sound on your end?
Man, my eyes looking real light right here.
Come on, guys. Let's
Everybody
go.
said anything.
It's fine. Sounds
Okay,
great.
good. Thank you.
Pop in. Okay, cool.
No, we did that.
So, I do want to let you guys know that from here on out, today will be our last day doing an IG Live. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to be live anymore. We're just actually going to start doing it on YouTube and Facebook Live. It's just a better platform for us so that we can actually show you guys slides of competitors and keep you guys updated. Just a better decision as far as you guys being able to see a little bit more from us instead of actually just, oh, this person looks great. No, we want to actually show you that the person looked great. So if you have not already, please make sure that you do subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can stay updated. That does not mean that we will not be updated on our own IG. We will. It's just the live just won't be there anymore. So make sure you subscribe.
So again, today's the last day we will be going live from Instagram. We'll still be going live, just not from Instagram anymore. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and also Facebook. But before we welcome on our guest, Miss Autumn Cleveland, I really want to discuss a topic for all competitors, really, not just figure. And that is, when should you show up for your actual show? What time should you show up on show day?
That is a good question. Now, anything can happen during show day. Things could maybe be going faster. Things could be maybe going slower. You never know. One thing for sure is the time that they are giving you to show up. Try to show up at least an hour early just to get to the back, find a spot, relax, put your feet up. Just in case things happen to maybe go a little bit slower and maybe they're behind, make sure you have enough food with you so that you're just prepared. Again, just making sure that you have more than enough time so you don't feel like you're rushed. Never want to get there the exact time that they're asking you to be there. Try to get there a little bit early. Maybe, for example, let's just say your division goes a little bit later. You never know if they're speeding through things either. So you still just want to make sure that you've given yourself more than enough time to just be there, relax, not feel rushed. That feeling of being rushed to get on stage, not a good feeling. And you definitely want to make sure that you don't miss your time on stage either.
Yeah, that's a big deal this year. That a lot of competitors are missing their time to get on stage because they're not showing up to the show at the correct time. So whatever time the show starts, if the show starts at 9 a.m., you should definitely get there at 8:30 a.m. so that you're there before the show starts and you won't miss anything that has to do with the show. As a competitor, you already know with what your coach says to you. The second you walk out of the door, you take all of your meals with you because you cannot control your day every single day. Something different's going to happen. You might get a flat tire, who knows? And there goes you sitting in your car for 8 hours instead of 2, and you have no meals. So when you leave for your show, you have to make sure you have everything for your show that you need for your show. Anything that you think of that you need for your show, you bring it when you walk out of that door, so you don't have to leave and worry about your heels or your robe or your bikini. You need to have a checklist of everything that you're going to need show day. Go off that checklist and make sure you have it with you in a suitcase. All the pros have a suitcase backstage. We get our suitcases, we have our blankets, we have a travel pillow, and we literally sit backstage with our nightgowns on and our flip-flops until it's time to start pumping up and getting ready to go on stage. We'll be there hours before we have to get there. And that's just because we mentally know we need to prepare ourselves to get on stage and not hurry up because we're already hurrying up and waiting. That's already anxious enough. You don't want to get there and feel like you missed something or you're now being rushed because you took too long to get there. Your makeup should be scheduled way before the show starts. If it starts at 8 and you need 3 hours to do your makeup, you better do your makeup at 5 a.m. so you get there at 8. Seriously, what time did I get to you? Or was I supposed to get to you to get my makeup done? It was like the show started at whatever time and you wanted me there like 4 a.m. to get it done. So you just to piggyback off of what you said, definitely get there way before the show and always have everything that you need for you show day right when you're walking out the door. You're not expecting yourself to be able to leave and come back.
Oh no, absolutely. Another thing, I think somebody just mentioned having an extra suit. Yeah, I completely agree with that. You never know if something can malfunction. I actually was just about to say that before they wrote that. Um, ladies who have the clear straps on your suits. For some reason, with those clear straps, as much as I love them because you're able to just show more and it doesn't look like parts are being cut off through your lats. With the clear straps, they're great for that. But with the clear straps, I do notice once you have actually worn them to, let's say you've worn them for prejudging and everything fit just fine. You removing your suit and putting it back on for finals. Usually those clear straps, for some reason, they slide. They're easy to snap. One thing that I do recommend is probably bringing at least 2 to 3 fresh pairs of those clear straps just in case. I've seen so many people not have extra ones and then guess what? They can't go on stage because one, they don't have a second suit or they don't have extra sets of those clear straps. So just things to just be mindful of as well.
Right. And you always want to check your heels and everything before. So if your heels are raggedy and you're trying to wear them for one show and you get there and they break, that's you. That's your own fault. You should have ordered new
Okay.
shoes and make it work. Bringing 2 heels is not necessary if you have one pair that's perfectly new, and wearable and doesn't have any tears on them at all. This sport is already expensive as it is. You have to be smarter when it comes to things like all of this. You have to literally plan it out and make sure you really plan it out so that way you don't miss a I, dot I, whatever I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Just get y'all stuff together and don't forget anything.
Yep, and y'all know how prep rain is, so make sure that
Always.
that list. Honestly, I start packing my stuff probably like 2 weeks out, just because like I know I'm out to lunch, so I need that checklist, and I need to start packing things like 2 weeks out.
Right. Who wants to be scrambling around looking for stuff last minute? Anyways, like, no, that's too much. But let's get to our main attraction of the
Yeah.
evening. Oh, no, 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 no. Before that, go ahead. You can go ahead. No? Me? Okay. The Legion Sports Fest.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Come on, doll.
Legion Sports Fest. Well, we're definitely going to keep you guys updated as far as photos of the athletes, who won, who placed, this, that, and the third. We will be posting all that great stuff. I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Legions because, I mean, thank you for doing your due diligence in making sure that the Masters athletes were well taken care of. The payouts were great. We love, 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 love to see that. Um, as you guys know, that Masters don't always get their due diligence on a good payout, and that was just honestly really, really nice to see.
Right. So shout out to Chris Manny's and Boyana. Thank y'all so much for keeping figure included, especially the Masters, because we say it every week on here. The Masters division is a force to be reckoned with, seriously, because the muscle maturity, just the dedicating is just solid when it comes to the Masters category. And sometimes they don't get enough praise for what the category is. So thank you, Legion Sports Festival, for keeping them included and for that huge payout, just like the Titans Clash, because they clearly started it. Anyways, to the main attraction,
Yes,
Autumn
yes,
Sleep.
yes.
Let's bring
All
her
right,
in.
let me get her on here. All right. I've sent out the invite. Oh, there we
Hi.
go.
I had to
Hi.
Hey.
represent because I just got my hoodie in.
Hey,
Yes.
I love
Woo.
these.
we love you.
I love
Seriously.
you guys. Seriously, thank you guys so much for having me on and just for what you're doing. And my boyfriend wants to thank you, Larhana, for videoing San Antonio with
Oh,
your arm. I know how long you held that phone just to get footage, and we all appreciate it, but especially Derek.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like falling out of my chair. You have no idea, but it was so worth it. Y'all looked amazing up there. Like I wouldn't trade it for anything. My arms are thanking me for it because now I'm better at boxing. So
Yeah, and
we're
your biceps
good.
grew like 2 inches, right?
Right. Right. But thank you so much for coming on. Seriously. We truly, truly appreciate it because I know how busy you are. We both know how busy you are.
This stuff's important, I think. It's part of it.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you've been busy. So to finally get you on is great.
I appreciate.
Real. I feel like we found some treasure right now. Finally, let's capture her. Where's our cage to put it on top?
Can't catch
You're
me.
not going anywhere.
Well, I guess let's hop right into it. Of course, you know, the number one question that we always ask first, why figure?
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. When I first started, this was in 2004. There was bodybuilding and figure.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't bikini. There wasn't wellness. There wasn't women's physique. So really at the time, there weren't options. But when I came to competing, I didn't think that I could be a bodybuilder because
Mm-hmm.
I was 82 pounds. Like I had
Wow.
nothing to work with. And I remember opening a Muscle and Fitness magazine and I saw a picture of Jenny Lynn in her
Mm-hmm.
one-piece figure suit. And I just thought she looked like just this gorgeous statue. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was like, I want to grow up and be that.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it just goes to show now how many options there are. And that just proves how much our industry grows, that they've created so many more options for women and men, which is great. But yeah, 20 years ago, we didn't have those options.
Yeah. So because you didn't have those options, you only chose figure then. So what made you stay in figure then? Because now we have all of the options and
I
you can
think
design your body to be in any of the categories, you know, and now you have the willpower to go wherever you want because now we did evolve and now we do have, you know, so much of a variety. But what's making you stay in figure?
I think at the time it was more me becoming a figure competitor, and I got so that I had to shift my identity with myself
Mm-hmm.
because I just came from being just like a skinny kid who was the last to get picked in gym class. And so when I focused so hard on becoming a figure competitor, I had invested myself and I had
Mm-hmm.
trained my mind to become that. And so to shift or go another way, it's almost like I couldn't.
Right.
And it's funny because all along the way, people said like, oh, you need to do bikini, you're too small for figure. And my
Look at
heart just wouldn't let
now.
me. What'd you say?
Is that and look at you now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But like, I love I can love something about all of the divisions, and even with posing, like when I'm teaching posing,
Mm-hmm.
I can show people how to move, but I can tell when my mind and my heart isn't into a movement. And
Right.
so part of it is I just really love figure posing. And genetically, I don't know, like it's been a fight, but I think it is for a lot of us. And
Right.
so I don't know that I'm predisposed to compete as a figure competitor,
Mm-hmm.
but if I have the tools, it's like I want to see how far I can manipulate them.
Right.
And now I'm just so invested and I'm passionate about figure.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I wouldn't be passionate about, yeah, it wouldn't mean the same for me to win a different division if I could win figure. It
Right.
just speaks to me.
So, I've been following you for a long time, a long, long
Thank
time,
you.
but I don't know the history of Autumn Cleveland, and we want to know the
No.
history of Autumn Cleveland. So,
Right.
could you tell us more about the 82-pound girl that
Uh,
you were before you found that magazine? You know, what were you into? Did you play sports? You know, what did you do when you were 82 pounds, and how did you discover bodybuilding?
Right.
I'll try to give you the short version. The long version is on YouTube. There's a documentary on it that we
Okay.
made
Oh.
I think the documentary is
What?
like 8 years old now. But
We get
I was 15. I was 15 and I switched schools. I went from like a decent sized middle school to a very small school.
mm-hmm.
And I am skinny. You know, I mean, that's my genetic makeup. My dad's 6'4" and skinny, and my mom is like 5 foot and skinny.
Mm-hmm. I
So
mean,
it's
you're
just
skinny, but I get what you're saying.
with a
Yeah,
skinny
you're
build.
definitely skinny right now, but
Yeah. And
we
so
understand.
I think I was 15 whenever I switched to schools, and the girls were not nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they were making fun of me for like being thin. And if they weren't making fun of my clothes for not fitting right, they were spreading rumors saying I was a bulimic or had an eating disorder. And it was just like normal high school hell. But it got to a point where I hated girls because they were so mean. So I started hanging out with guys, which starts a different set of rumors. And
Right.
it was just a mess. I didn't know who my crew were.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point it came down to this one group of girls who was a few grades older. They were threatening to jump me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have any backup. I didn't have friends that would fight
Right.
for me. I couldn't stand up for myself. If the wind blew too hard, I'd fall over.
Yeah. Why didn't you
And
call
so,
go upstairs? I'm just kidding.
so I went to my dad, who was a police officer, and I was like, hey, how do I stand up for myself?
Yeah, man.
And he took me to the gym where he was training for work.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went and lifted with my dad for like every day after school. He'd pick me up and we'd go to the gym, at
Mm-hmm.
least until I was old enough to drive.
Right.
And along the way, I met this female bodybuilder. And now she would look like probably more along the lines of like a figure competitor, like an amateur figure competitor at the time.
Wow.
So, but when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, that woman has muscles and she's pretty and
Mm-hmm.
she's nice. And I was like, I want to be like her. So we went
Right.
and watched her first bodybuilding show I watched in 2003. And at that point, I had tried to play sports and it did not go well. Those girls terrified me at school.
Yeah. Oh my
I thought
God.
I wanted to try out for cheerleading, but when I saw that they were on the cheerleading team, I was like, they're going to wreck me.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to run track, but they made that difficult too. And so I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of gave up on school sports. And when I saw this bodybuilding show, I was like, hey, that's not a team sport. I'm not on anybody's team. I don't have to worry about that. And so,
Right.
so at that point, I also was doing a lot of like stuff with Hooters magazines and like pageants and calendar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was more comfortable with like the modeling side of stuff.
Right.
But what I felt like at the time was I was like, I don't belong anywhere. So what do I have to lose if I try that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because the first time I went backstage, I was like, just turned 16. And I
Wow.
saw these women who were like 25, 30, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh my God, they look incredible. Like full grown women. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm just a baby. And I don't know how. I went up on stage and I just felt like all of a sudden I was like, this is where I belong. I belong right here. I don't belong in school. I don't belong in these school sports. I don't belong with other people. And it felt isolated and united all at once.
Gotcha.
And that was it. That's all I needed. I just needed a safe place. And for me, the stage was a safe place. And I'll admit now, I think part of me competing even 20 years later is me dealing with my experience with being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And also going back to that 15-year-old Autumn, there's things that I owe to her.
Right.
And that's part of why I'm on this chase now. It's more than trophies and titles and money and the admirable things that of course we all want. But I think I have some deep-seated business that's unfinished.
Right. It's crazy because like you're such a light, you're so bubbly, like,
Thank
and
you.
you've been put down for so long, like just going through that by itself is a lot, and a lot of people today deal with it still, even today in today's society, it's
Oh,
bad,
it's awful.
and
Yeah.
for you to come out like this and you know, you're just so positive. You're always smiling. You want to help people. Help people, you know, be a better them and not fall short to being a bully, because being a bully is so easy. It's easy to be a bully, but it's not easy to
Yeah,
be nice to somebody that's a bully.
that's a great way to say that.
I
We
agree.
truly, truly appreciate it. Seriously.
Yeah,
So
it's I don't tolerate bullying in any form, even adult forms.
what year did you turn
No, you're
pro?
breaking up.
No. Am I getting it?
2018.
You're
2018.
kind of
Okay.
staticky.
I'm staticky.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying it on here, right? Look at her. Show them your
You are
dress.
so nice.
For real. No, we're real, girl.
That's actually something that I love that you guys are doing, though, is like you all have instilled a ton of support and encouragement in just me this year, but like you're doing it for everybody. And like as soon as I figured out what Beyond the Barbell was and what you guys were doing, I was like, that's what we need. Not just as women, but like how cool is it that we can share the stage and still chase the same things? And you all are lifting other people up. Like I love the way that you talk about people on the podcast. Like when you're looking at their improvements, you do it in such a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's an art
Right.
and
We
a
don't.
skill
We
that a
never
lot of
want to
people
hurt
don't have.
anyone's feelings ever. We always want to. You know, we're all about elevation, rising up, because we're never going to let anybody say that we don't have any depth, because we know just within you, Autumn, there's enough depth within the whole division, you know, to be carried along. So it's not just, you know, us creating this platform, but also women like yourself that are actually, you know, promoting our division and being such a light and being so, you know, friendly to other competitors and letting them know like, hey, yeah, we could battle it out on stage and still be friends off stage. Like what happens on stage, nothing to do with me and you and everything to do with the judges. So why are you taking that out on me? No, you don't have to be that way.
No, and that's like one of I'm very careful with how I say this, and it's cool because last the San Antonio Pro I was having this conversation with my friend Stephanie, and we were just talking about the difference of words when you say I compete with or amongst people versus I compete against them. Those are, to me, those are two different phrases,
right?
And I don't compete against other women, but I do compete amongst them and with them, and to me that's an honor. Like,
right.
How cool is it that I mean, Zenobia, I've looked up to you forever. And when I recognized you at Phoenix, I was like, Steven, this is her. And then same thing with Lorana in Texas. I'm like, these are like my idols, and it's like hard for me to focus. And then I'm like, hey, how's it going?
Shame, complete shame.
A lot of us are still like that because I mean, I've been pro since 2017, so you know the ladies have been around for a while.
Yeah.
Still to like be next to some of these women, I'm like,
oh my god. I know. Lorana, when did you turn pro?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think where New Jersey. Yeah, and then my first show was with Z at Tampa. I ended up getting third at my pro debut, so that was crazy.
Awesome.
Freaking crazy. Like, and
that's
you know,
so cool.
You start going, like, and you almost don't stop. But also, I want to know about what you do outside of bodybuilding, because you DJ, right?
Yeah.
Yes, when I'm not, I have to like rotate these things. In fact, this is the first year that I told myself that I was just going to be a pro athlete for once. Because normally I'm DJing and I'm also an artist. So I have my prep and posing coaching business, being a pro athlete, and then I have an art business and a DJ business. And my problem with life is I love too many things. There's not enough hours in the day. So earlier this year, I focused more on DJing than I ever have. But the tricky part with that is I've never had any like lessons or like a teacher.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it, like I call myself a closet DJ. I've done it for like 5 or 6 years. I just didn't have the guts to get out and do it in public. It makes me like sick to my stomach with nerves, probably the same way as a first-time competitor on stage.
Right.
That's like to us, it's nothing, but to them, it's like nerve-wracking. So
Mm-hmm.
just to get out in public and DJ, I'm like, I don't know if I suck. I don't know if I'm doing this right or whatever. And so this year I made more of a push to like get out in public more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to do a pretty big event here in Louisville last New Year's.
I saw that.
Okay.
That was a big test, but I was ready to like, I treat each DJ set like it's my one and only,
Yeah.
because I don't know how serious I'll get with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point I'd like to pursue it, but as we all know, there is an expiration date on bodybuilding, whereas the other things I can do for the rest of my life.
Right.
So we threw like a rave, like a DJ rave thing
I
at our
saw that.
gym.
Yeah.
That
So
was cool. That was what was cool about that was it was the gym I belong to is called Everyday Athletes, and it is all different types of athletes. You've got bodybuilders, strong women, power lifters, crossfitters, like all different athletes. And just for a few hours, everybody just got like, they cut loose. We all came together and just danced like to music. And it was cool because normally we're all there to work.
mm-hmm.
So we don't really get to see each other. We don't get that release. And I don't think athletes recognize how badly they need that release. And that's why I'm so obsessed with like raves and
Yeah.
music festivals, because you don't realize just what that provides until you're
Right.
in it, and then you're like, oh my god, I needed this so bad. It's just a
Yeah.
couple of hours.
Yeah. And music is therapy, honestly. To me,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
music is my love language. Literally, talk to me in music form, and we're best friends. But that's so awesome. Like, I saw you DJing and doing your DJ thing, and I would have never thought that you were, like nervous about it because you were so comfortable. You were dancing and everything. You were in
I
it.
have to,
You look like you remind me of Marshmello when he's DJ.
yes.
You know how he's in it. Like, he's in it. You were in it.
That's how I have to be, or I start to worry about what people are thinking.
Yeah, exactly. But just for you to be able to do that and not show out to us that you were nervous at all, I'm like, man, she's comfortable. She really knows how to do this. I'm like, if I need her to DJ for me, shoot.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just
Yes,
just
you do.
making.
You do. Don't tell anybody that. Put closet DJ on your resume and then put your husband's name as your boss. For
That's
real.
funny.
But another thing that I do want to touch base on with you, something that I think a lot of other athletes needed to hear, the fact of when you started, when you turned pro, the progressions that you have been making every single year, like that's something that really sticks out to me with you, is the fact that you're consistent and you're changing and you're getting better every single season. And this is what we talked about in earlier shows, that we have a lot of the athletes where I feel are shying away from figure just because, yes, it is a little bit more of a complex division just in terms of balance that you need to have between body parts,
Right.
the growth, and I think a lot of people are looking for that instant gratification and, oh, I want to hurry up and get my pro card and get on stage and go to the Olympia and all that great stuff. But for everybody, it's not always that quick.
Yeah, I would say it's rare for
I
someone to hit less shows.
Yeah. So how much do you weigh right now
Overnight.
compared to?
That's a good question.
You're 82 pounds. How much are you stage weight? Because you started bodybuilding when you were 82 pounds. You discovered it. So how much weight have you gained since you've been doing it for so long?
Oh, I was really proud of myself. I almost hit 150 one time.
Oh, wow.
Off season. But I guess stage weight, if I had to, I don't really weigh myself, but like a couple of times a year. I think the last time I weighed a few months ago was like 125.
Okay.
Stage-ish. I'd say not at my leanest point, but maybe like a few weeks out. So
That's huge.
I remember being like so proud when I stepped on stage at 100 pounds.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
That is a great transition. I mean, guys, seriously, if you haven't really looked into Autumn's journey, take the time to, check out her, YouTube, check out her page and look at the progressions that she's made. Like, when I say, and it's consistent, you can tell every single season that she's just significantly gotten better. And honestly, So me and Hannah are waiting for that first place because
Yes, yes.
I
Yes.
I appreciate your belief in me, like really I do, because
We're not the only ones.
it's hard. It's hard for me to see it. I
Right.
have this kind of, it's a good thing. It serves me well, but it's kind of like, and I recognized it like in the year after I turned pro, I had fought for that I did like 11 national shows. And what is that, 12? It took me 15 years to get my pro card from when I
Wow.
started. And I can't tell you how many times I would have given up. It's just, I have this thing where it's like, what's next? What's next? What's next? And it's a blessing and a curse because it keeps me moving forward.
Right.
But I don't get a lot of time to absorb on what has happened or reflect. These past few years are a perfect example of that. And so when I did turn pro, there was a lot. That month was the hardest month, one of the hardest months in my entire life, because we just had a lot of shifts going on. Like my boyfriend and I were moving houses. It was really stressful, like trying to get the whole pro card thing. And I was also losing one of my best friends to cancer at the time. And it just felt like at that point I was angry.
Yeah.
I was angry at a lot of things, and I was getting more angry that I wasn't breaking through. And when it finally happened, I had built this thing up in my head for so long. And when it happened, it's almost like it went by so fast. And even though it was a 2-day show at the time, it just happened so fast that I was like, I was proud of myself. I went back in a hallway, bawled my eyes out for like 2 minutes. And then I was like, okay, got my pro card. Like, just like, did the things you're supposed to do afterwards. But I'm glad I allowed myself that moment in private.
Right.
Because I don't know if I would have registered. And then a few weeks later with all of this, these shifts going on, my boyfriend, he's the most supportive person I've ever met in my life. I'm so lucky to have him, but we agreed that I should just do the Chicago Pro just to see where I fell at a pro level, which was 3 weeks after getting my pro card. And I just wanted to see, I didn't care if I get dead last. I just wanted to know. And I think I ended up getting like 6 at that one, which I was shocked. I don't know. I still to this day don't know how that happened. But since then, it's been opening the pro door. Now it's just this, okay, what's next year's plans? What's next month's plans? What's next week plans? And that's how I function. But it's hard for me to pause and slow down enough to even see what I've done. Or like, it's cool to hear you guys say the consistency thing, because that's hard for me to see.
Right. Yeah. And I understand what you're saying too, because it's hard to like, stop when you're so close and you don't even know how close you can be or how far you can be from that goal. But, if you keep going, you're one step closer to achieving that goal. But then again, because you're constantly working for something, it's hard to slow down and appreciate what you just accomplished, because now you're already trying to accomplish something else. So that's understandable as well. That's a good thing to have too, though. And like you say, Nicole keeps saying, and I keep saying, you're literally one of the most consistent as fuck athletes.
I want that on a shirt.
No, seriously, you really are. In Autumn, like, you don't burn out. And it's crazy. How do you keep yourself from getting the show day blues? How do you stop yourself from trying to feel sorry for not getting what you wanted to get from a show and just continuing to go?
I struggle.
You literally.
She's frozen. I wish I had caught the entire question, because I don't want to start talking and then I'll talk too much.
Still on pause.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's the perfect moment.
Wi-Fi or something.
Yeah.
Oh
no, we lost her.
Invite her back in.
You're the technology queen. I don't know how to do that.
I'm learning slowly but surely.
That's why I was like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed to say I've never done an IG live before. No. But she is.
Well, no,
4 hours rudely.
clue on how to do the IG live, so you are not alone.
Thank you for teaching
Before
me.
I was rudely interrupted by my freaking phone, Autumn, I was trying to say that you're the most consistent as fuck IFBB figure pro. Seriously, like you're very, very consistent, and you're not like you don't like you keep yourself from getting into a certain space that stops you from reaching your next goal. How do you stop yourself from not going there? You know, like, because when I'm reaching for, everybody wants to win when they get to a show. Everybody wants to win. When I don't win, I'm a baby. I'm a baby, for real. And I'm like, oh man, why couldn't I win? Like, what happened? Jesus, come on, give me my win, Lord. And then I feel sorry for myself 1 or 2 days, and then I'm right back into it. But you almost instantly like, all right, cool, I got that second place. Thank you guys. I'm so excited about my second place. And now I'm about to go do another show, so I'm coming. How do you do that?
I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I don't go there either.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say this. I have amazing people around me that keep my head on straight. And if I didn't, I would spiral. But I process my feelings. Like, I allow myself to feel how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm happy, I allow myself to be happy. If I'm upset, I allow that. If I'm frustrated, I allow that. And if I'm pissed off, I fucking allow that. I go to the gym and I take it out and I work it away. And it's if anybody ever sees me working out, I know like I look like a psychopath, but that's me beating those feelings to death because they can't live here. And I'm not gonna carry anger with something that I love.
Mm-hmm.
But am I frustrated? Yeah, I am. I'm extremely frustrated. I've waited 20 years to get here, and for the last year, I've been getting second place.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard because give me third place, and I have, for some reason, that's a little bit, it's not as close.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, I will say this, and I mean, I know most of us don't want to go to the Olympia off of points, but I say this: ain't nobody surpassing the points that you have. So
and also, we've seen.
You know, I definitely know that you do want that win. Are you planning to do any other shows?
I'm honestly like, I'm not really in the position to like talk about my show plans because I don't really know. Like right now, I'm telling myself like I'm focused on bringing my best ability to the Olympia. If I show up on that stage, I want to make sure that I look and feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So everything, like my boyfriend calls it reverse engineering, but like looking at the Olympia, like if that is my goal, then I don't want to show up exhausted or burn out or, you know, whatever. So I did after Texas, I took an entire week off and it was nice. I needed it. I reconnected with my friends and my family, and I didn't step foot in a gym. It was cool. Didn't practice my posing, and I practiced my posing like twice a day. Like I probably saved 6 hours a day.
Wow. Yeah.
It was great. I was sick half the week, so I slept a lot, but I needed it. But you know, it's just so like I guess last week my steps were just to get back to where I was with that rest. And I'm just kind of taking it like a day at a time and a week at a time right now.
Right.
Because it's tough. The points are tough. The points are really tough. It's like I can't sleep at night sometimes because I'm like, if I just had the security, it's the limbo that kills me.
Right. Also, guys, if y'all don't know and you haven't been seeing the shows that she competed in, she's going up against the top people in the world. So you
all top people.
I know to a lot of people, you know, this might not sound, you know, like the most like awesome thing to hear because it can come off as not being grateful for a second place because Autumn getting second place to an Olympian and hardly losing, you know what I mean? That's a big deal. That's a big deal in our industry. So she's very grateful for her placings, but she's a different athlete. She's a pro. She's a pro athlete, and no pro competes to get second place. They compete to get first place. So these feelings that she's feeling and everything that she's telling us is validated because of the level that she's on in our industry. So don't take anything that she's saying, you know, negatively, because all of this is why she's where she is today, because she takes everything that she wants to do not lightly, and she's going to go for it, and she's not going to stop. So I won't be surprised if we do see you on another stage and also at the Olympia too, and you're fully energized like you are right now.
I hope so.
You're literally you're learning your body very well. Like these last 2 years, I know it may have seemed like you're like in limbo, but you and Shane have been learning your body every single show, and you've been getting drastically better every single show, and you're still very well balanced. So you should be very proud of that, and you deserve a round of applause for how long and how many shows you've literally done this year, because competing is not easy. You literally have to be a certain type of psycho to compete and say, hey, I'm going to go get on stage more than half naked and let people tell me where I am flawed. You know, that's not easy. And then we're opening ourselves up to the public to judge us when we're on stage, and they won't even get on stage. So we truly appreciate you and all that you do to inspire the industry, and just what you do to promote the figure division alone.
That means a lot. And I'm so lucky to have Shane. That dude is intelligent, but like I joke, but I'm not joking. It's like the best thing he provides for me is he forces me to believe in myself. He believes in me so hard. It's not an option for me not to believe in myself. So I joke because he's like, he gives me the diet and the protocols, but really he gives me the like, I can do it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you just said it perfectly. And I hope people understand this too. And I appreciate you kind of clarifying the second place thing, because like I am grateful and I'm proud. Mm-hmm. I'm really proud. But like you said, like it's just not, there's just something underneath that's like not satisfied with that. And so the great thing is every time I get on stage or every time I compete, I learn something. I'm still learning. For example, the San Antonio show, my damn suit was glued in the wrong spot. I know better. I just didn't check it. I didn't check it at the time. And there's still little posing kinks that I'm trying to work out. I've finally decided to address my scoliosis. I've had it. I just have been in denial about it all these years. And so there's some things that I still have to work around with that I'm still trying to figure out. And I've learned a ton this year just by being honest with myself and saying like, yeah, that's something I have to work a little harder at. If it wasn't for Sydney being an example, I probably would have given up on that a long time ago. But thankfully she has carved out her journey so that like the rest of us can have some hope. Like, hey, and I've worked with Sydney with posing. She's helped me with like a couple of posing sessions, and she's just really helped me with some insights with the whole scoliosis posing thing. So I've learned in that aspect, but like with our prep protocols, Shane and I just get to practice over and over and over again. And so there's a lot less guesswork. And I'm going to say this for myself, but for everybody listening, it eliminates so much stress, which is, you all know, is the killer of show day, is like stress. And so it's almost like every show that goes by, I was cracking up when you were talking about the packing for 2 weeks. Cause like I'm in my pack room, like it's filled with suitcases, different suitcases for different shows. And it's like each show gets a little bit more relaxed because it's just like the last one with a small adjustment. And it's just like the last one with another adjustment. And so I do look at competing as opportunity, and it's just opportunity for me to show up and learn something and practice and get better, meet people, make memories, have some experiences. And so I am grateful for that. And it wouldn't matter if I got first or last. Those are the things that are the real gains. But I can also look at my physique and say like, yeah, it still needs work. So I'm glad I can also see where I need to get better with that clarity. Cause I do know that I think it's hard for a lot of athletes to understand what exactly they're supposed to do, especially if they don't realize that they can talk to judges for feedback. A lot of people just don't know that they can ask those questions.
Yeah, and they're not accepting of them. They need to be critical of themselves. If you can't be critical of yourself, you're not going to allow somebody else to be critical of you. So you first have to be able to look at your own physique and say, oh yeah, Larhana, we know the legs. We know it.
Yeah, we all have our body part.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can't look at your own self and know where your weak areas are, don't go to anybody else, because you're going to make it feel like it's a personal attack. They're not personally attacking you. You ask them. They're trying to help you. They're trying to help you. So if you don't want the help, and you just want to be blinded to it and keep getting disappointed every show, don't get a coach and just stay blind to the truth.
I mean, but you know, that's also what makes a great, successful athlete in our sport is the honesty and really being able to take the time and really pick apart your physique. Okay, I know I need this. I know this needs work.
Yeah.
A little bit more size. Same thing with taking that, constructive criticism, not only from the judges, but obviously also from the coach that you're, working with. You have to be honest with yourself. And I mean, I know that a lot of the times we're in our heads and maybe we don't necessarily see something, which is always the important thing to have, a coach and having that second eye. But, it's really important that you can really learn, obviously, what the division calls for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at who is at the top. Compare your physique to who is at the top. All right, we know that this is the standard. Let me look at my physique. What do I need to work on so that I can be like the standard, what the division is actually being called for? A lot of the times, I don't want this to sound harsh, but some of us can be a little on the delusional side.
Oh, yeah, of course.
To really be honest with what.
Yes.
That's what it's so funny you said that, because there are several times this year where I've asked myself, am I crazy? Like, am I not seeing things right?
Dang. Yes. A lot of people need to just go to NPC News Online and look at the criteria for each category before they compete, not after.
And oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, you're good.
Becky Clausen, I love what she's different than a lot of judges. She takes what's happening and she makes it digestible and breaks it down in simple form for us to understand. Like, if you follow her stories, she directly points out, like, especially when wellness was born, she was very clear on, here's a good example, here's what we're not looking for. And then when she breaks down the categories of like bikini, wellness, and figure, she just has a way of taking what's on the NPC website, taking what's actually happening on stage, and then translating it to us, to athletes and coaches.
Yeah.
And I know she's busy, but like, I hope she sees that what she's doing for us just by clarifying that. And like, I love Sandy. Sandy has a way of explaining things. Like, there's certain judges that just the way that they formulate their feedback or critique, it's like it clicks in my head and I understand.
Right.
And once I understand, now the picture is clear, the assignment is clear, go do the work. It's when I didn't ask, or I didn't quite understand what that person was trying to explain to me. And those were the times where I felt lost. When I was just confused. Right.
You have to make sure you get the right, criticism from the right judges that you understand, so that way you can do the assignment and you can, continue to evolve in what you're trying to do. Because it's pointless to get criticism from somebody who doesn't even know your division, that doesn't know what the division is asking for, and they tell you to do something and you're doing the wrong thing, and now you need to change categories. Yes, we'll tag Becky and Sandy as well on here, so y'all can follow them and get all the information that we're talking about right now. But yeah, I agree. You have to talk to the right people, make sure they know what they're asking for the division, so that way you can continue to evolve and go in the direction that you want to go for this sport. Because we're still changing and evolving. We are.
Yeah. Isn't that cool though?
Yeah.
Isn't it insane to look back at the, I don't know, 2012 figure? When was Nicole Wilkins reigning? Was that 2012 and 2013?
Yeah, I think it was 2012.
Yeah. Look at the difference now. And isn't that insane? Like, that we can still grow within these parameters.
Right.
And I just think it's so cool to see. I'm starting to understand it better now, but just over the last few years, I would look at Olympians and I'm like, how can they improve that much in less than a year? And it's still mind blowing. Like, one of those people was, I think it was 2019 to 2020 was Rhea. It blew my mind how much she improved. And even you, Zenobia, I've just seen things where I'm like, wow, they didn't take that much time, but they improved a ton.
Yeah,
And I watch people in their off seasons, and just,
yeah,
it's so cool to see. It's cool to see how everyone like off seasons differently,
yeah.
especially at the top.
Right. I said that I love figure because, especially, you know, like for everybody that has a husband, a boyfriend, you know, they get a different woman all throughout the year, you know, because our bodies are constantly changing. You get
Takes a
6
special
different
man to
women
love an
because we're
athlete.
real life transformers. We're real life transformers. So if you get a figure competitor, you are so lucky. You're going to be with one of 6 women all year. You're
All
so
year long.
lucky.
Oh,
You're
that's
so lucky.
That's
Glennon,
funny.
she did the first pro figure show, which was I actually spoke with JM a couple weeks ago, and we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about that. The first figure show was the Arnold in
Mm-hmm.
2003. So that's pretty awesome.
That's so
Crazy.
cool.
That's crazy. Well, Autumn, we truly enjoy you. We love that you came on. Thank you so, so much for that.
Thank
Before we
you
let you
all.
go, we have 2 questions. Mine is going to be, what are some words of wisdom that you want to leave with, you know, just the followers?
Oh my gosh. I could give you a whole book, but I'll try to condense it down. Just showing up, and not just showing up to be seen, showing up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my words to myself this year, is like, I'm going to show up at the gym, and I'm going to be present, and I'm going to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do show up on stage, I'm showing up for my own personal reasons. And they can be like a really big thing, or it can be a very private thing. But
Mm-hmm.
if you stop showing up on yourself, that's like, I always look at it like a friend. Like, would you not show up for a friend just because they're having a bad day or because they're having a
Right.
struggle? Like, no, you would go meet that friend with some love and,
Cookies, right. That's
yeah,
when you really
cookie,
go.
yeah.
That's when you really go, when they don't want you to come. You really go then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, to keep showing up for one thing, but I'll tell you what really it brought me to tears when I saw it in person. And I'm gonna try to make this not too long, but did you watch when Dexter Jackson did his last show?
Mm-hmm.
In his exit speech, he said this phrase, and I'm not gonna get it verbatim, but he said, "I don't have anything left to prove to anyone."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I still have things to prove to people, and mostly to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a question that I ask my clients when they say that they're done and they want to walk away from bodybuilding. I give them all of my support and respect, but I say, just ask yourself this question and answer it honestly. Do you still have something to prove to yourself?
Right.
And if the answer is yes, then don't close the door.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say no, and you know you just lied to yourself, well, you're not done yet. But if you can walk away with closure because you've proven to yourself what you came here to prove, then you're free. Release. You're
Mm-hmm.
done. But I think a lot of competitors lose their why, or it gets muddy
Mm-hmm.
and unclear. And sometimes you just have to come back to the end of the day and just get really raw with yourself and say, do I still have something to prove? And if there's any heat left over those coals, pour the
Mm-hmm.
fucking gasoline on and catch fire, you know?
Yeah.
But
Bring that water
excuse
hose
my
out.
language, I cuss a lot.
No, you're good. Bring the water hose out and get the damn mud off the floor and
Yeah.
keep it moving. Bring your
Yeah.
slip and slide, actually. Slide right through it. Keep going. Man, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh,
Nicole
wait.
has a question.
Golly. Okay, so as we know that ticket for the Olympia has been stamped. Who is winning the O this year?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be behind Sid every year. Here's why. I can't find here when I look at figure,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know where I got this. I want to say it was either from Sandy or Gary Udit. It was some judge. And they said figure it's like no one body part stands out from another. It just flows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it has a balance and it has a flow. I can't look at Sydney's physique and find any part of her that is out of balance with her own self.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what gets lost with people when they try to break down judging, is they go, well, that girl looks so different than that girl. And it's like, well, yeah, they're not trying to look like each other. You're trying to complete your package.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and Sydney just carries this grace of, it's that perfect mix of muscle and femininity, which is what drew me to figure. I think, like, when there were more choices, there's a certain mix, then it's very hard to fine tune, and she just nails it every time. And I've seen some athletes come in at their, you know who else I love right now is Lola.
Oh
Lola
my
is wow.
Yeah,
but she's another one. She's carrying that balance of femininity, but she's got the muscle. And she just, the way she moves on stage, like,
she's confident.
Yeah, it's just really cool to see people creeping up and just getting better and better. And I'm going to call you out too, Zenobia, because like you continue to just,
I appreciate you.
every single time. I'm like, how's she gonna get better? And then you do.
Bro.
So yeah, it's just really cool to see. But also like seeing new faces in the mix. Did you catch oh my god, I cannot think of her name at the moment. She won the Savannah Pro last year and she got third at the Olympia last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Stephanie Gibson. Gibson.
Oh my god.
She's one of my favorites too.
I know, and she just popped up out of nowhere and she has such an insane look.
Yeah.
But it's still, to me, still figure.
Yeah, that was her Olympia debut.
I know. Did you know that? I'm almost positive, I might be wrong. I thought Savannah Pro was her pro debut.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. Yep.
2 shows.
Yes, crazy.
Whatever qualified her to get pro, her first pro show, and then top 3 at the end.
Yeah, but that's why I love figure, because like you said, you have to, it's all about the individual body itself. It's not about these 3 people next to each other. It's about all 3 of those bodies individually, and which one of those 3 bodies is the most balanced, which one, like you said, is not off. But like, if I'll just use myself, right, I'll just use myself as an example. We already know I'm known for my back, and my goal is like, I don't want to just be known for my back. I want to be known for everything, you know. So my balance is I need to have my legs balanced with my upper body, and then I'm taking all of y'all out.
That's okay. Now, if I could have your back
for now,
give me your back, and we'll make like a perfect package. Yeah,
so it's like, you know, the Power Rangers. You know, we'll just take body parts from each part,
and we'll create our perfect figure competitor. No one will be able to touch it.
Build a figure. We'll call it build a figure. Everybody can come into the factory and build their figure and go. $1 million a pop.
Oh my god.
But thank you so much, Autumn, for real.
No, thank you all,
appreciate it. This was a blast. We wish you luck. We already know you're going to be at the Olympia, so we will see you there. Keep being confident. Keep going. Y'all guys, please, thank you. Keep supporting us. Keep following the channel, liking and sharing. And thank y'all again so much. Until next time, we are out.
I'm saying good luck to you too, Larhana.
Oh, thank you.
Because I know you got stuff up your sleeve.
Yep. Thank you. Bye, y'all. Have a good time.
Bye. Thank you.